having this vision. I've been having this vision. Either rise or you fall. I'm on a mission, bringing my dreams to fruition. I ain't playing at all. Bring out the body bags. I'm about to kill them, deliver them to the mortician. I gotta do what I gotta do. That's for my face, back in my face. I gotta do what I gotta do. I pray to God, he never came. I'ma do me, I'ma do me. That's in my blood, I'll never change. That's in my blood, I'll never change. That's in my blood, I'll never change.
Thanks for sticking with us for the WSL post show as we break down a big opening round for the women here at the Margaret River Pros top 5 on the championship tour. Malia Manuel very relieved to get that important first round win, build a bit of momentum as she moves through the draw here at stop number 5. And it was a tough heat with a big buzzer beater moment in the dying stages for Isabella Nichols, who pushed Tatiana Weston-Webb back into 3rd position. Laura Enever down there on the sand. Let's hear from Malia now.
Yes, down here with the always lovely Malia Manuel. An amazing way to start your campaign here at Margaret River.
Thank you, thanks. I was pretty nervous coming into this event, and I always think that's kind of a good thing because my competitive self really likes the nerves, and I feel like once I hit the water, it kind of gives me that, that kickstart to competitive mode.
And we know you love it over here. You're always so comfortable in these like big open water waves. How excited were you to get over here after bells?
Yeah, I was so excited. I feel really connected to my board and my equipment right now, and have some good fins. And so I was really looking forward to coming over here and serving some good waves.
And 7 on the rankings right now. Are you thinking about the cut much, or is that sort of in the back of your head? You just want to surf well and get scores?
A little bit of both. I think subconsciously it's there. And when I was coming into Bell's 5th, I still was like, oh, like, am I going to make it? I really want to make it. So I think it's there. But at this point, and this being the 5th event, I'm really just looking forward to having a few heats out there and hoping to make it to G-Land.
Oh, amazing performance into round 3. We'll see you soon, Malia.
Happy Anzac Day! Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, thank you, Malia. Cheers, Laura. Malia buzzing and, bringing up Anzac Day. Had a bit of a dawn service on site this morning, which was fantastic, commemorating the troops that have served bugs here from Australia and also New Zealand.
Yeah, it was nice that we were able to do a ceremony this morning. I mean, we missed it. We're usually in our hometowns, and it's such a special day to honour those that have sacrificed and served.
Yeah, lest we forget. And, of course, getting this first round of the women's event underway this morning, it started in really tricky conditions. The first heat was a slow one, but Tyler Wright really turned things up, Shannon, when she hit the water in heat 2.
Yeah, she just found that rhythm really early on, which was exciting to see. She mentioned in her post-heat interview that she hadn't really had any waves since she got here. I mean, nobody has, because it's been pretty flat. And for her to really be able to unleash and to find a couple waves like this, to just get those turns connected together and to feel the power of Margaret River again out here at Main Break, a place where she's had so much success, it would have just felt amazing.
Yeah, Bugs, Joe Tapel watched this heat unfold and just instantly said, Tyler's the surfer to beat. She's my pick for the win. Do you agree?
Well, she's come out of the Rip Curl Pro down at Bells here as in hot form, and she just opened up today, and I'd have to agree that Tyler is looking unbelievably strong.
Yeah, amazing variation. And she actually said in a post-heat interview she was feeling some nerves, feeling a little anxious, which is kind of normal after you've banked that big result, trying to back it up. But Shannon, if that's Tyler surfing with, the anxiety and the pressure to perform, and she's surfing that well, she will be so hard to beat.
Oh, well, it's clearly working in her favor so far. And she took out an informed Bronte McCauley, I've got to say, has blown me away. Her surfing at Bells was all time. Her surfing last year here at Margaret River was incredible. So for Tyler to get the win over Bronte, as well as the rookie that's been really powerful in Gabby Bryan, well done to Tyler.
Yeah, that's right. Some of the rookies are going to be up against it, and they're going to have to fight their way through the elimination round. But some big names also below the cut line at the moment. Probably none bigger than Sally Fitzgibbons. She has a mountain to climb here at this contest. We've touched on that before, but she performed out there really well in her first heat here.
Yeah, she would also just be feeling so good to finally get some rhythm, especially in a tough heat against, the yellow jersey with Carissa Moore and one of the locals, Emia McCarthy, who knows this wave so well. And for Sally to find like connection with the lip like that, when there is so much pressure, there is such a massive question if she's going to be able to requalify. It's almost undoable for her at the moment unless she gets a huge result here. So this would be feeling really good for her.
Most definitely. Bugs, you've seen a lot. You've seen it all. Sally Fitzgibbons, one of the most resilient competitors you've ever come across.
Well, this right here really shows the fighting spirit in Sally. You know, she came here with her. I think she's got a great attitude going into this event. She's used to challenge. She's saying, bring it on. I actually think she's in the right headspace.
You know, people always say, you know, Bells Beach, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You'd have to say Margaret River is the same type of event. It's a marathon, and then Sally, when she leaves the contest site, actually runs a marathon.
Yeah,
I saw her yesterday. She would have run 15 kilometres yesterday.
Well, you know, Sally was a champion middle distance runner, and you know, her cross training has really served her well in the sport. And yeah, she's just amazing. She's got such energy, and as I said, like her interviews before the event and post heat have been so positive. I just think she's going to do something special here. Yeah,
it could be done. Amazing when we opened the show this morning and you start talking about surfers that are confirmed on the men's and women's side. Only 4 surfers have locked up that position in the back half of the year here. So the race is still wide open to guarantee yourself a place on the tour for next year, but also get to those special locations on the schedule. And the pressure's on Stephanie Gilmore. She's in equal 9th. There's so many hungry competitors behind her trying to make that jump. And she managed to survive this first round heat this morning, Shannon.
Yeah, this was, again, a really important one, especially coming up against a hungry rookie in Molly Picklum. But for Steph to find that advancing position at least to avoid the elimination round was really crucial for her, again, with so much pressure. But then I loved seeing Molly Picklum find that rhythm and to get a heat against 2 of her heroes, 2 women that she has a lot of similarities in her surfing style with, in Steph and Lakey.
Yeah, I thought Molly looked really sharp. She's got so much potential, and I guess that's the thing we've got to keep reminding ourselves with these young rookies. They are so young, and they've got big careers ahead of them still.
Oh, Molly was not overwhelmed. She was against 2 superstars of the sport, and she was out there. She was aggressive, she was hungry, and she laid it down on the line.
So there are the numbers, and I mean, heats don't get much more difficult if you're in Molly's situation on the leaderboard. Stephanie Gilmore, Lakey Peterson, a former winner here. That's probably the most difficult draw of the day.
Oh, totally. It's one of those moments for Molly. Just getting to surf against the 2 of them would be a great thing, but then to actually beat both of them, that was huge.
As we dive into the rankings now, and the big focus for us at this event is obviously that cut line and who can make the jump, hold their nerve and maintain composure and perform against those top seeds who are obviously now running on a lot of confidence.
Totally. I mean, for today, great to see Sally through, to see Molly through, needing to get above that cut line, but then a lot on the line for Courtney, for Steph, for India, for Malia. Not with that solidified qualification for the back half of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting event, Bugs. Obviously, we're tracking the stories of those surfers that want to make it in above the cut line, but it's got to be at the expense of someone. We're going to say goodbye to a good chunk of the field here.
Oh, I think you know, round 2 and 3 is going to be, there's going to be a fair bit of anxiety leading into it, and it's going to be, you know, you're going to have to really hold your nerve and be strong and go out there with a really positive affirmation that, you know, you believe in yourself. This is where it comes down to it.
Yeah, let's have a look at those matchups for the elimination round now. And it is going to be a really big one, this first heat. Lakey Peterson, a former winner here, going up against Luana, who's just had really promising performances in meaty conditions in Hawaii, so she's got a good chance. And Mia, of course, you mentioned she's got that local knowledge, Shannon.
Yeah, well, you've got to assume that Lakey Peterson's the strong surfer coming into it with that winning experience on the championship tour out here. But she's got 2 women that really suit these kind of conditions off of the North Shore of Oahu, and Luana Silva, and the local and Mia McCarthy. That's a tough draw for Lakey Peterson.
Most definitely, yeah. It is. It's not going to be easy. It never is at this level. Let's have a look at Heat 2 in the elimination rounds, and you know, it's definitely a surprise to see 2 former winners in this round in Lakey and Tatiana, and this heat I think is going to be a really big challenge. It doesn't matter which surfer you're kind of looking at in this heat, Bugs. It's going to be difficult to progress through.
It really is. I mean, the one thing I do feel for the rookies is that, you know, we've had a pretty small, a very small run in. There hasn't been a lot of practice out here at Main Break at Margaret River, and you know, experience just is so, you know, it's such a blue chip dividend out here. And there just hasn't been much of a run for the rookies, but I think there's a lot of talent there, you know, and of course the girls from, you know, the North Shore of Oahu and Hawaii, once it gets bigger, they're going to feel a bit more at home.
Yeah, they might get that chance too to just review the vision of their first effort here at main break, really, and just identify where maybe they can get those combos and finishes, because that was a bit of a struggle for a lot of the rookies, wasn't it?
Well, it's such an important point you make there, because we haven't gone straight into the women's elimination round today. They're going to have that opportunity to walk back, to have those chats with the coaches, to watch the footage, and to really break down how to figure out this lineup and find some success without going straight into the jersey again today.
I bet you they're back out there right now. Let's have a look at the Boost Mobile wave of the day, and this one came to us in the dying stages of the last heat of the opening round, and it saved Isabella Nichols and her chances of falling into the elimination round. Just one big turn, Bugs.
It's one mighty big turn, and she nearly gets disconnected from a board on the free fall, and she really put on the line. Like, she'd actually been pulling back on a few sections, so this time she just gritted it and went for it, and what a celebration.
Yeah, and Shannon, I think that was probably the biggest wave that we saw come through all day. So she really did attack it and put it all on the line.
Well, it was wild. It was the last wave of the set. She took the previous 4 waves on the head, as did the other 2 competitors in the lineup. So she would have been fully wiped out, paddling back out, lots of duck dives, swung to get into position for that wave. I didn't think she was going to even make it out the back to get herself onto it. And then to have to throw up on the biggest and heaviest section and ride out is incredible.
Unbelievable stuff. A great performance. We've still got plenty of highlights to review. When we return from the break, we'll have a look at the top 5. Welcome back. Well, we were lucky enough to get a rare treat at Cape Mantell the other night, and we had the premiere, in-house premiere of Make or Break the first season. It was an absolute treat, and all the surfers were on hand to enjoy beautiful food, lovely wine, and a preview of what's to come in the first season. Incredible highlights. This Make or Break season will take you behind the scenes and give you a great glimpse at what our competitors go through each season, the trials and tribulations. And we've got to thank the crew at Cape Mantell for hosting us so well. It was awesome. Welcome back to the Margaret River Pro WSL post show. Margaret River's coast is a renowned surfing destination located within Wadundee country. WSL is joining the Nature Conservation Margaret River region, Line in the Sand and Great Southern Reef to work together in healing the beautiful dune landscape here. The ecosystem across the southern half of Australia is so connected. Local restoration efforts have broader impacts than we realise, and the great work that gets done in surrounding areas like dune coastal restoration can have huge benefits to so much more than we think. So cool that these We Are One Ocean and Shiseido are doing at each of the events. It's fantastic to get everyone involved, the surfers included. It's been awesome. They were heavily involved down there at Bells Beach and again here at Margaret River taking part. Let's check it out.
We've learned the importance today of really staying on the path that has been created to get down to the beach, because we've planted all in these dunes here native plants that are meant to be here.
And we come to all these amazing places around the world, and it feels really good to be working with companies that care about the places we go and try to leave them better than we found them.
We Are One Ocean is an initiative led by the WSL to inspire our global surf community to protect and conserve our one ocean. This year we're partnered with Shiseido and we're working with local organisations in communities around the world where we hold our championship tour events.
Margaret River is a renowned surfing destination located within Wadundee country. The WSL is working with Nature Conservation Margaret River region along with local surfers from Line in the Sand, Great Southern Reef to heal this beautiful dune landscape.
The Great Southern Reef is this huge interconnected kelp forest ecosystem. It's vibrant and colourful and full of life, and it's got creatures here that are found nowhere else in the world. The surfers are literally surfing straight over the top of this ecosystem, but it is super under-acknowledged.
So you dig down a little bit?
Yeah.
We are restoring these dunes because people have trampled over them getting to Gas Bay to surf.
We're going to be helping to redefine the access and rehabilitate those areas that have already been degraded and disturbed.
Restoration and what we do here on the dunes has much more impact than you realize in the overall health for surf spots and beaches all along Australia.
I think surfers should definitely play a big part in things like this, and I do think they should care because we're in the nature constantly, in the ocean.
It's Mother Nature, it's all around us. We need them more than they need us, so we got to do our part to protect it. All right, buddy, you're going to do good here.
This is a great example with the professional surfers and the young grommets working together to give back and demonstrate that custodianship.
Okay, I'm gonna give you this guy. I'll keep digging. Perfect. Yeah, it's so cool to see, you know, the younger generation just already taking part in initiatives like this, and I think that's just key to a beautiful future and a sustainable coastline. It's awesome, and these girls are killing it.
We want people to understand that when you care for country, you're protecting places like the Great Southern Reef for generations to come.
Help us preserve the future of our sport. To learn more, go to weareoneocean.org.
Yeah, fantastic. Our surfers are getting behind that initiative and turning up at each of the venues, lending a hand. But the coolest thing is probably that interaction with the local community who will be those custodians of these areas in the future, Shannon.
Yeah, it's such an important point, too, to just stay on the track. I mean, there's so many great waves in this region. You want to run down at any little spot to take a look over, but just stay on the path and keep nature growing.
Yeah, I've taken our focus away from the actual coast and into the lineup. Bugs, tricky day for competition today. It was really challenging, especially through those first couple of heats with that strong wind.
Well, you had the wind coming out of Margaret River. It was actually a northeast wind, and it was going straight up the face of the lefts, making it very chattery. You know, the word go that looked like the lefts were working, but then Tyler started getting those rights and it all changed.
Yeah, and with that incoming tide, it kind of makes that last section here at main break sort of lay down a little bit. We saw it sort of come to life for a couple of heats there, but it's a promising looking forecast swell-wise, but there will be challenges as we dive into the Surfline forecast here, Bugs. Always a bit of wind to deal with when you're here on this raw and rugged coastline.
Well, the roaring 40s come straight across from the bottom of Africa, and look what they bring with it, these mighty swells. And, you know, no continental shelf, it just slams into southwest Australia, and it's looking pretty solid.
Yeah, larger kind of stormy conditions coming our way over the next couple of days, Shannon, but also I don't mind it because it's going to bring opportunity for lots of waves to be ridden. And that's what our surfers will really want when their careers are really on the line.
Yeah, that's so much of it as we take a look at the 4-day forecast there. So clearly the swell building all the way through to the end of the week, taking a little bit more time to arrive here than we were expecting. Some of those onshore winds, it's going to be difficult to negotiate, but like you said, it's going to create a lot of opportunity.
You only have to think back to Bells and Ethan Ewing in his big heat trying to crack a CT final and sitting out there without those opportunities. When you've got those big stormy wind swells, you don't really have the option. You're going to have waves to catch it and you're going to get those opportunities. So I don't mind it. Bring it on. Let's dive into now the top 5 moments of the day. And they came right across the board. There was great performances from the first round right through until the last heat of the day. But Bronte Macaulay coming in at number 5 with that very sharp backhand attack. And it's just been refined over these last couple of years. Everyone's referring to Bronte as one of the most improved surfers in CT events.
And now we get to see her unleash again here at home. Last year she finished off in the semis and was really the in-form surfer coming into that round. And so to see her lock into a few really solid, sharp backhand attack waves, great.
Molly Picklum, Bugs, unbelievable amount of hype on this youngster, and she's up against it. But you commented that she didn't really look like she was feeling the pressure out there, flowing beautifully.
Well, she took it to the 2 superstars of surfing, and from the word go, whether she was carving or just doing these one-off massive moves, Molly was outstanding today.
Really strong and very happy to get the win over one of her surfing heroes, no doubt. And then Malia Manuel loving her time. I just think that, that big CT win is just around the corner. Maybe stop 5 will be the contest for Malia.
It's what we're all waiting for. We would love to see her in an 8 CT final and to finally take a victory. And a wave like this would be a spot she could easily make that happen with surfing like she put on today.
Well, just the absolute queen of resilience on this CT. Sally Fitzgibbons showed us again why she is just so regarded as a real fighter.
Yeah, she really kept that focus today. She's come into it with a great attitude, but with a very heavy amount of pressure on her shoulders. And great to see her just making sure she didn't slip on the rocks when she came in as well.
That's probably the most important thing once you hit the
dangerous.
beach. Tyler Wright, Bugs, she sits in that number 1 position on our top 5 today, and she could be sitting in the number 1 position if she keeps surfing like this on the leaderboard.
Well, she's a 2-time world champion. She's certainly regained that level of form, but today she really laid down the benchmark of performance of what to beat Tyler, you are going to have to put in a brilliant display out here.
I guess the big thing is too when Tyler starts to show the variation, I think that's when those other event threats start to get a little bit worried, because it's so hard to match her variation. She's got the power, she's got the progression. She busted the fins out on one wave, which she didn't quite make, but it was some of the most progressive and explosive surfing we saw all day.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, also for her to get a big win and look like she's in form coming off of Bells, that's a difficult thing to back up for any surfer to go back-to-back with a big result. For her to come out swinging right off the bat is great.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm up for a bit of 2-up if you are. Bugs, keen?
Keen as, mate. That'd be great.
Let's kick off this Anzac Day with a bang, or finish it with a bang. We'll leave you with the highlights, and we'll check in again tomorrow morning to see if we can get competition back underway for the men or the women. See you then. Good morning from WA. We are here for stop number 5, the Margaret River Pro. The pressure's going to be on like never before.
I gotta know what you're made of. I gotta see how you roll. Sugar and spice and all things nice ain't gonna satisfy my soul.
Tyler Wright is back in a big way, just looking so confident.
Carissa surfers achieved back-to-back wins at this venue. Molly Picklum, the first year on tour, that was a dynamic one single blast. This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.